into the kitchen of Ebony Ivy and Thyme. Here we are serving a delicious and easy vegan potato corn chowder. And I invite you to pull up a chair, have something to drink, and watch closely because this is something you're going to want to add to your repertoire and serve to your family. Potato corn chowder is a hearty, comforting soup made with potatoes, corn, and a creamy broth. Now, this particular recipe combines the earthy flavor of potatoes with the sweet and juicy kernels of corn. And in this case, we're actually using canned corn because we want it to come together quicker. Now, we're also making sure that we're not adding any oils, we're not adding any salt, and we want to make sure that we have a delicious broth that is going to complement the potatoes. And no bacon or ham in this chowder. Now, your main ingredients are going to be potatoes that you're going to dice into small cubes, but I decided to shred mine. Of course, the corn itself, you can use fresh, you can use frozen, or you can use canned, because all of them are going to bring a nice natural sweetness. Your broth, I chose vegetable stock because I wanted more flavor and because of the fact that we're not using any type of animal product, so we're sticking with the veggie base. Now, also, we're going to add a plant-based milk, and in this case, that's almond milk. And it's going to provide that creamy texture that is characteristic of a chowder. We've put in onions, we put in garlic, we put in celery, we put in carrots. All of these are common additions for extra flavor and nutrition. And you know what? The bacon and the ham, which all of that's optional, and you could certainly add it to your potato corn chowder, but I'm not adding it to mine. Now, I want you to enjoy what you're preparing. So because of that, know this, that potato corn chowder is very versatile and can be easily adapted along the way. So let's get started, and we can have this potato corn chowder on the table in about 30 minutes. A couple of tips. When you're not cooking with oil, there are some things you have to remember. First of all, use non-stick cookware because that's going to help to prevent the sticking when you're sauteing. And in this case, we're sauteing the vegetables, all of the vegetables, the carrots, I forgot the green peppers, the celery, the onions. We're going to saute all of that, and we're doing it without oil because we added water into the pan. Also, tip 2 is that we have to monitor the liquid levels. Now, when you're sauteing with broth or water, be sure to keep an eye on the liquid level, and particularly if you're doing it on the stove. Now, if you're cooking it in a crock pot, then you know to make sure that you put all your liquids in because you will want to have enough liquid to serve your soup when you're ready to serve it up to your family. Now, number 3, you want to make sure that you add extra vegetables like we did. We added additional, we had carrots, we had the celery, we had the bell peppers, we could have added zucchini, which we could have added all of that into the mix to add additional flavor and nutrition. Oil-free potato corn chowder is not only healthy, but it's also packed with flavor, making it a great option for those of us who are looking to reduce or to eliminate oil from our diet. I am going to be using Knorr's vegetable bouillon, and that's going to add just a little additional flavor that we're going to need in this soup because after all, potatoes by themselves can be a little bland. Now, as always, I will add the recipe down in the description box. So we're putting in 2 cubes of Knorr's vegetable bouillon, and that's because we have a substantial amount of potato corn chowder in this pot. And we're probably going to add just a tad bit more liquid to it, as well as we have a little surprise. We're going to add some nice milk to this. So just stay tuned. We're also going to be putting in some corn, of course, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. I'm sure you wondered why I added 2 different types of our textures of corn. I added 2 cans of regular whole kernel corn and 1 can of cream style corn. And the cream style corn is going to give this soup the texture that I want. I want it nice and creamy. I want to get the corn flavor, but I also want to have the hardiness of the actual corn. So that's why we use whole kernel corn. Now, remember, you can certainly substitute frozen corn or even fresh corn. But if you're using fresh corn, try your best to get all of that corn milk that comes out of it when you're cutting the corn off the cob into your soup. Now, you know that I try my best to steer away from salt, but after tasting this soup, I found that it had great flavor, a little bit sweet, but it did need just a tad of salt. Of course, your potato corn chowder you're going to make your own, and I'm adding a few dashes of Frank's hot sauce because I think it's going to lift the flavor just a tad. Now, it's optional. Our soup is hot and bubbly. And you can see that there's just a little bit of foam on top. I think that really came because of the almond milk. We're just going to continue to stir it until we have stirred most of this down. And once that's done, be sure to make sure that as you're stirring that you're touching the bottom of the pan because we don't want any of this goodness to stick on the bottom. And potatoes have a tendency to do that. So let's get ready to serve it up. Soup and salad always pairs well together. So I have prepared a quick little tossed salad with just some lettuce, some carrots, some celery, onions, and of course tomatoes. And I'm just going to drizzle a teeny tiny bit of balsamic vinegar over that and serve it with the soup. Now, we're going to get that soup into the cups. This has been so much fun having you here in the kitchen. And as the weeknight vegan, this is one of those meals that I can put together very quickly. Now, this particular soup really could have been prepared in a crock pot. If you needed to walk away from it, you could have put all the ingredients into the crock pot, made sure that you had enough liquid so that it could continue to cook and you would have had dinner on the table hands-free. But I wanted to do it right here in front of you for the first time. So I hope you'll try this. Now, another tip is that you could have actually blended a portion of the potato soup before you put the corn in. And I think that might have given it an even creamier texture. But I like mine the way it is. It's nice and hearty. You could serve it with cornbread or with crackers. So enjoy. Family, you know that you are always welcome into the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. And I hope that this won't be the last time that you come to the kitchen, because this is where I, the Weeknight Vegan, am serving up some delicious vegan meals, vegetarian meals, and some traditional meals right here in the kitchen, because I have a family. It's big, and because of that, everybody's eating something different. So we have to make sure that we're preparing whatever's necessary for our family, keeping them happy and keeping them full.